Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we got the announcement for the rest of the GT unit EZAs. We saw the Super EZAs for the Super Saiyan 4s and STR Omega, and then the EZA for Tech Sin yesterday, meaning we still have a few more units to see. In fact, I think the only one that hasn't been announced now is the Shadow Dragon army, which of course is a Battlefield LR. So we're going to take a look at these here. I haven't actually looked at any of the details yet, so this will be my first time reading through them. So I guess we will go ahead and see what we're getting with these guys. The INT Baby, STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the Physical Pan, and the STR Trunks all came out around the second anniversary. So these units are over 8 years old now, and they finally EZA'd them. So was it worth the wait? I guess we will find out. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and yeah, let's just jump in and see what we are getting with these EZAs. So INT Baby. So attack and defense 150. When HP is 30% or more, he gets key 2 and another attack and defense 100%. He has a medium chance to turn into a giant ape just one time. So it's still just random. So it's just like a 30%, every single turn that he comes onto the rotation, there's just a 30% chance that he'll transform into a giant ape, okay? And then obviously he can only do it once. When attacking with 12 or more key, he gets another 150% attack and defense. When there's another Inhuman Deeds, Corroded Body and Mind, or GT Boss's ally in the same turn, guaranteed additional super, chance to crit, damage reduction, and dodge 20%, okay? I mean, that's good, like 3 different categories and you only need 1 of the ally, so that's obviously really easy to get. When there's a Pure Saiyan, Hybrid Saiyan, or GT Heroes enemy, he gets another additional super, and then chance to crit, damage reduction, and dodge 20%. So that means 40% for both, 2 guaranteed additional supers with the ally as well. That's pretty good. For every attack performed, attack and defense 30%, up to 150. But he also does greatly raise attack and defense on super. So the fact that he's going to be able to he's greatly raising attack and defense on super and lowering attack. With the right ally and against the right enemy, he's doing a minimum of 3 supers every turn. For every attack performed, so he builds this up like 3 times in the first turn, potentially 4 with the hidden potential. Yeah, I mean, he seems like he could be okay in terms of the stats. Like after getting all of his supers off, he gets quite a few defense bumps, and then obviously has 40% dodge and 40% damage reduction. So it's not terrible. Doesn't give any support or anything though, so he could be an interesting option for Omega's team if he wasn't banned in like most of the events in the game. That's the problem with this guy and the Super Saiyan 3 Goku that we're going to look at, is there's no mention anywhere that they're removing the restriction on these characters from specific events. So these guys are getting EZAs, but you can't use them in events, which is dumb. We talked about this on the podcast last night, and I was saying to Minato, like, in most of the events that are only 1 phase, you can't nuke them anyway. Like, imagine going into the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta fight and trying to use a nuking lead. If he's attacking you even once in slot 1, you just get instantly killed. So like, I just don't get why they even do that anymore. But you would think if they were going to EZA these characters, they would maybe address that issue, but apparently not. So Baby seems like he could be okay. Doesn't seem like anything crazy busted or anything, but could be okay on Omega's team, I guess. And then obviously he has the Great Ape transformation, which is only a 30% chance. I mean, there'll be entire runs potentially where you just don't ever see this, or runs where it just happens on turn 1 when you don't really even need it. So random Great Ape transformations are kind of annoying. But he gets orb changing, so he creates rainbow orbs. He has a built-in medium chance to crit, and he has a nuking thing for his Great Ape, so attack 170 per key sphere obtained. So the Great Ape could hit relatively well if you're picking up a bunch of orbs. He greatly raises attack temporarily on the super attack as well, so I mean that could be okay, I guess. But at the end of the day, the giant ape thing, we really only care about it for like the free damage and then obviously negating enemy attacks for the next turn. But that seems like it could be pretty decent, I guess. So yeah, Baby seems okay, but nothing too crazy. Then we have Physical Pan. So Pan was a support before, so let's see what we got. So attack and defense 150, medium chance to dodge, so 30% dodge, okay. All allies 2 key. When attacking, attack and defense 150%. When HP is 50% or more, attack and defense 50%, and all allies attack and defense 30%, okay. When HP is 30% or more, she gets another 50% attack and defense, and all allies attack and defense 30%. So as long as she's at 50% or more HP, she's giving all allies 2 key and 60%, which is decent support, of course. When there's another GT Heroes or Youth ally in the same turn, attack and defense 100%, chance to dodge and damage reduction 20% when attacking, though, which is kind of bad, so it's not good against AoEs. And then when all allies in the turn are GT Heroes or Youth, another attack and defense 100% and 20% dodge and crit chance. So that means if you have all allies GT Heroes or Youth in the same turn, she has 70% dodge and 40% damage reduction, but she only gets that when she's attacked. So again, she's not going to be good against AoEs, which is annoying considering the hardest fights in the game. Like, we currently have 2 of the 4 GDC battle stages that do AoEs. So she does have type advantage over Rose, but before attacking, I don't think her start of turn defense is going to be that crazy. But in events with no AoE, she could be quite useful as a slot 3 floater for Gogeta's team. Her super attack also greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage, raises all allies attack by 25% for 2 turns. So she's got multi-turn attack support on her super. So yeah, I mean, I think in an event where there is no AoEs, she could be quite good as a slot 3 floater for a GT Heroes or a Youth team. So yeah, not completely terrible. A lot of decent support. Like I say, 70% dodge and 40% damage reduction after attacking is pretty good. So I think she's okay. And then we have STR Trunks. Now this guy, I'm really looking forward to what they decided to do with this guy, because I'm pretty sure his passive pre-EZA was literally just like attack 100% or something. Like he's from that era. Like I say, these guys are 8 years old. Like that, his passive was like 1 line. So let's see what we got. Immediately his does look shorter than the other ones. Attack and defense 150, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, int and STR excluded to rainbow. Okay, so he makes rainbow orbs. All allies attack 30%. When attacking with 12 or more key, attack and defense 150. When there's another GT Heroes or Hybrid Saiyan ally in the same turn, attack and defense 150, chance to crit and damage reduction 30%. All allies defense 30%. Okay, so his, unlike Pan, his isn't when attacking. So if there's another GT Hero or Hybrid Saiyan, then he just has 30% damage reduction and extra stats. So then maybe he will be a bit better against AoEs. And then yeah, he has the same thing as Pan when all allies are then GT Heroes or Hybrid Saiyans. Another attack and defense 150, chance to crit and damage reduction 30%. And then all allies attack and defense 30%. Okay, so on a full Heroes team, when he's on a full Heroes rotation, he's going to get an extra 300% attack and defense, 60% crit and damage reduction, and then all allies attack and defense 60%. So I mean, that seems pretty good on the team that you're going to use him on. And then does he, yeah, he greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn as well. Massively lowering defense is kind of irrelevant, but yeah, that he actually seems pretty good, right? Because he's got the damage reduction at the start of the turn and the stats, so he's going to have the full like 450 from his passive attack and defense, and then he gets 150% when attacking. So his post super defense should be pretty decent, and then he has 60% damage reduction, 60% crit. So with crit built in, then you pretty much just want to make him like full dodge and then additional, I guess. So he's actually a really good floating support for Gogeta's team that doesn't have to worry about AoEs, unlike Pan. So I would say that Trunks, out of the ones we've looked at so far, Trunks seems like the best one. So now let's take a look at the Giant Ape Goku. So this guy, attack and defense 200%, all allies attack and defense 33%, then an additional 1 key and attack 33% for characters who are GT Heroes or Giant Ape power. Then he also has a medium chance to turn into a Giant Ape. When attacking, he gets 200% attack and defense. When there's another GT Heroes or Giant Ape power ally in the same turn, attack and defense 150, chance to crit and chance to dodge 50%. And then when all allies attacking in the turn are GT Heroes or Giant 8 power, guaranteed additional super and guard. Okay, so on a full GT Heroes team, he has guard, a guaranteed additional super, 50% crit and 50% dodge. Oh, that seems pretty good. His start of turn defense won't be too crazy, but like guard's helpful. I mean, you're basically going to be using him as a floating support, right? So he gets 200% defense on attack as well. Obviously, again, AoEs could potentially be an issue, but 50% dodge and guard to kind of back it up is interesting. I don't think his start of turn defense is enough that he's going to be tanking, you know, like AoEs from like fully built up in Rose or anything like that. But the fact that he has the dodge chance is interesting. So yeah, he's pretty straightforward. But on a full GT Heroes team, like on a full GT Heroes rotation, extra stats, 50% crit, 50% dodge, guard, and a guaranteed additional super seems pretty good. And he's giving GT Heroes or Giant 8 power characters 66% attack and then 33% defense and 1 key. So for like the Giant 8 power team, that could be quite interesting as well. His super attack is greatly raised defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage to the enemy, and raises attack for 3 turns. So he does have a little bit of a stack on his attack as well. So I mean, he seems like he could be quite interesting. The medium chance to ape thing is still annoying, just like it is with Baby. But yeah, I mean, post super attacking, he'll be tanking most normals. He's got the 50% dodge chance. He's got guard. Like, he's okay. But most of these EZAs seem to fall under this sort of like, they're okay and they could be good in certain situations, but none of them are particularly like great. They're just like okay to good, I guess. But then let's look at his Giant Ape thing. So Giant Ape, he gets randomly changes physical, or I say randomly, changes physical orbs to STR, randomly changes non-physical or STR orbs to Rainbow, high chance to perform a crit, and then for every Keyser obtained, attack 100%. So that's pretty good. He's got double orb changing and has the nuking thing with his Ape transformation. So I guess he could be relatively decent. But again, this just comes back to, before we forget, this just comes back to the same point I made before, where you can't use this guy or Baby in most of the events in the game. So what's the point of his EZA even being somewhat good, because you can't use him? Which is just really dumb. I don't know what they were thinking with that. So he greatly raises attack temporarily, does destructive damage. Yeah. So I mean, like, he seems like he could be okay, but you can't use him anywhere. So what's the point? And then last but not least, we have the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I mean, I say but not least, I haven't seen what he does. Maybe he's the worst one. I don't know. Let's see. So AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Shout out to our boy STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta that came out at the same time and didn't get an EZA because he's not a GT hero. So attack and defense 150. Per GT Heroes ally attacking in the same turn. And it doesn't say self-excluded. Right, so launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. Attack 100% when attacking and defense 70% when receiving an attack. Okay, so on a full GT Heroes rotation then, he's getting 3 additional attacks that have high chances to become supers. He gets 300% attack when attacking, and then 210% defense when receiving an attack, which is pretty good. When all allies in the same turn are GT Heroes, he gets another 100% attack, chance to crit and damage reduction 50%. And then when HP is 50% or less, or when there's a GT boss character enemy, guaranteed crit and guard. Okay. So he seems quite good in the right scenario. Obviously against the GT boss enemy, or when HP is 50% or less, that's when he's going to be at his best because he's got the guard. But if you're running him on a GT Heroes team, which you most likely will be, he has 50% damage reduction, and then he's got this 210% defense when he gets hit. He's launching 3 additional attacks that each have a 50% chance to become a super. So I mean, this guy could, on the best RNG turn, this guy could super attack 5 times in 1 turn, which is quite interesting. And then this guy had, I know he had the old passive build up. So yeah, his super attack, it says supreme damage and raise attack and defense for 3 turns. But I think Minato did post about this as well. He's one of these old units where even though it says raise attack and defense, which would normally mean 30%, it's actually a 50% raise. So he gets a 50% attack and defense raise on every super and can super multiple times within the turn. And then when he comes back on the next turn, he still has all of those buffs at the start of the turn. So if you get one of the turns where he does like 5 supers, his start of turn defense on the beginning of the next turn is going to be insanely high. So yeah, he seems like he could be quite good. Obviously, people are going to be annoyed because realistically, we've got GT boss events in this celebration, but once this celebration is over, like, there's probably not going to be many new events that come out with GT boss enemies, right? If we move into like a Namek Saga celebration, or you know, something else from Super or Battle of Gods or something like that, like, right, we're going to be getting a bunch of new difficult content that isn't against the GT boss's enemy. So that last part being restricted the way it is, I think, is kind of sucks. It would be much better for him, obviously, to just have the guard be much easier to have unlocked. But other than that, I think he does seem pretty good. So overall, I would say the EZAs are decent. But the big problem is, obviously, Goku and Baby essentially can't be used anywhere. Trunks feels like he probably is the best and probably will be a really good support unit for Gogeta's team. Pan seems like she could be a good support for his team, but just isn't good against AoEs, which is going to be really awkward. And then obviously when it comes to Baby, again, he seems like he could be okay, but you just can't use him anywhere. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I don't think these guys are bad. I just don't think they're particularly good. So like some of them are good, but just overall nothing super impressive. Trunks and the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the AGL one, seem like the best ones, but Goku obviously is a bit situational with that guard and everything. But I feel like people are going to see his turn 2 start of turn defense after he gets a couple of supers off in turn 1 and probably be a little bit more impressed, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, those are the rest of the EZAs other than the Shadow Dragon army. They haven't posted that one, but I guess that'll be coming maybe at a later date with like Battlefield being updated in part 2 or something. I guess we'll see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the EZAs down below in the comment section. Certainly not terrible, but definitely not anything groundbreaking. Let me know all your thoughts down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.